All right, everyone. We can get this Friday study group going. Looks like it's just me and Wisco this week so far. We are going to go over the 500 guarantee turbo deep stack on carbon. Is this a daily?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. 157 hands, I believe.
Okay, cool. So we probably get through this in a couple hours.
152.
Faster.
Not sure if I win it or not. I'm profitable.
Do you know? But you know you cashed, right?
I final table, yeah.
You final tabled it. Okay, cool. How many bullets did you fire?
I believe just one.
Okay, cool. So you got ace-6 off in the big blind.
Well, I guess the first thing to note is I regged. I believe this is level 3, 30-60.
You know, can you do something for me?
Sure. What?
Can you switch the stacks to big blinds? Because I know since you use sharp scope, you can do that.
Yep.
Let's do that. I think that might be a little bit easier to understand concepts for the newer players if you keep it on big blinds instead of full stacks. So it makes the math easier.
Absolutely.
Get them trained to think in big blinds and not chip amounts.
Mm-hmm. All right, so 5-point palm. I actually have this player shark tagged as well as grind and jack and H8 poker. So,
for those who don't know what shark tag means, that basically means that they're good players.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Good drags or professionals.
Yep. Can you pull your HUD up too, or will that kind of mess with the frame rate?
Well, I can kind of bring it up and down.
Okay. Yeah. You don't have to leave it up. Okay, it's up to you. It's however you want to do it. You're running the show. I don't care.
So, Palmanera, small blind, goes to 3 bets. I think it's an easy bail spot.
Yeah, that's an easy fold because we don't close the action.
Right.
If we're not closing the action, we don't want to get 4 bet off and lose another 3 point, almost 4 bigs, you know?
Right. And they do come up with a hand.
Cool. It's early.
In general here, I think I'm going to fold.
Okay. I think that's just a style choice. It's the second hand in the tournament. Like, what kind of image are you trying to portray at the table? Do you want like a super aggressive, laggy image, or do you want like a tighter image? If you want like a laggy, like aggressive pre-flop image and then kind of just play relatively fit or fold post-flop, then yeah, open this up. If you want a tight, kind of more pro image that saying that you're not going to get out of line much, but you're going to always show up with a decent hand, then yeah, let it go. Because early tournament I see is always image building, right? You're always building an image for yourself, even against players that you've played against previously. Like, you're going to play slightly different every tournament, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So early tournament is all about image building. So with me, it just depends on my day. Right. If I want to play, if I want like a laggy aggressive image, then I'm going to play that. If I want a tight, just standard image, then I'm going to fold it.
Right. So ace king, we're gonna excuse me, we're gonna open here.
Yeah.
Open to 2-3, might be a little large.
2-3 with 58.
So early. Yeah, it's a bit big, isn't it? I might have to change that sizing.
Go back to the big blinds again.
But I like the big blind's 80 at the moment. My bet went up to 185.
You got 58. Yeah, I mean, you have the effective stacked. I think that's perfect. I might have even taken it up to 2.5. Really. I mean, I keep it pretty standard. Like, I noticed that you do that a lot, which I like it. I don't have a problem with it where it's like 2.3 or like 2.4, or even when you min raise, it's always like 2.1. With me, I like to just keep it like flush and standard. It's either like a min raise or 2.5 or 3. Like
Right.
it's pretty flush.
I
I
feel like
admire the fact that you can do that. I can't. Like it has to be just a flush number for me because, or I'll start like switching my opening amounts based off of big blinds.
well, I feel like it helps against like the big blind's perception because like here, if I'm minning, he's calling 80. You know, he's calling over 100. If I go up a little bit more,
Right.
so it's kind of that's my logic to it. Is just how does the big blind perceive it?
Mm-hmm. We spike our ace with the back door. Get all of it.
I think it's probably
What?
an all good bet spot. I would say.
I think that we do have to bet it just because it is still connected. Like the ace jack is still there. We got the blocker for the king for the club. Oh, for the diamonds. I guess it comes down to how do we get a jack to call us, right? Because does a jack call a big bet? We got 6.1 bigs in there, so we got 10% of villain stack already in the pot. I don't know. I'm leaning towards. We opened it too, so we're very ace heavy. Maybe we do go small.
Yeah, I'm into a small bet here. We're blocking a lot of the good draws. We fear no overs. In all
And it's all about
actuality,
putting that
our villain
jacket.
doesn't have a lot of good turns or good hands in general here against us.
Mm-hmm.
So we go, oh, that's a little big. 2-9 into
It
6-1.
was almost half pot. Yeah, I
Yeah.
probably would have went a flat 2. And he raised us.
Yeah.
This is a sticky spot.
Yeah.
And that's a big raise too. Well, not really. That's pretty standard.
He went, so it's 9-1. He went 8-9, so basically a pot.
I think this is a great example of why we shouldn't bet half pot. If we're going to bet small, we're going to bet small. If we're going to bet big, we're going to bet big, right?
Right.
Because if we bet big here and he 3-bet us, we could put him on a set. If we would have bet small, the amount wouldn't be as much and we would be not as scared to call.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But here, it being close to half pot with like an extra couple blinds in there, more than what it should be, I feel like we have to call this because that could easily be a draw. But
Yeah.
is he holding the ace of diamonds with this? If that's the case, our flush is counterfeited. Because that makes sense, right? Pair of aces. We have him out kicked as it sits right now. I would assume, obviously, right?
Right.
And then his sets are always there, but he's got a set of deuces. So like that's so small amount of their range that it's not discreditable, but it's unlikely.
Right. Jack should have played a lot different.
You know, in all reality here, I think I make this call and reevaluate the turn. But how are we going to reevaluate the turn?
Right.
What's our plan going forward?
See, the thing is, you don't want to get iced up if he does have the flush draw. Because players do this with the flush draw.
With an ace high, where he paired his ace, he's got a bad kicker, but he's got the 2 diamonds to go with it.
Not necessarily. You might have 9-10 of diamonds here.
Yeah, could see that too. or maybe an ace jack, but that's that's unlikely because we have an ace, right? But I mean, you get out kicked from time to time. With the ace of diamonds. I mean, I feel like we got to call. We got to at least see a turn. We can't just give up yet.
I don't think that there's any other option here. I mean, to me, it's more call or go over the top. I mean, ace jack's beating us, but how much of that?
If we go over the top, are we willing to play for stacks?
Right, that's the problem. We have 124 bigs.
Because we'll have to take it up to like 30. We'll have to bet over half our stack. Well, maybe not necessarily. We might be able to take it up to like 27. But still, that's half our stack.
Yeah, yep. So we do take the conservative line and call. We get a 10.
That's a terrible card for us.
We check.
I think well, I don't know. I don't think that it definitely helps his range more than it helps ours, I think.
I mean, that makes, well.
But I don't think that it's enough to fold to even a big bet. I think we still have to call the 11.
He puts 11 into 24, so he's not even betting half pot here on the turn.
Yeah.
We do just call.
Mm-hmm.
Ends with the 4. So 46 is how much is in the pot at the moment. And we do check. I don't know if there's anything else we can do besides check.
So as played, you know what? Go back to the turn. I'm thinking because we lose our flush, and now we only have an ace, right?
Right.
Do we gain back control here and just jam on him and just get it over with, or do we fold? I mean, because our ace is probably good here, I would think. And if that's the case, why wouldn't we call the 4?
So you think this is a jam spot here?
I would move it up to toe and see what he says. Because it's either we're beat here or we're not. Like, we either let him know that we got this or we give up. Because, I mean, what comes on the river that's going to allow us to make a big bet call on the river? What's coming on the river? A queen? That's it. Like, we're not calling a king. Maybe an ace, but there's only 2 left in the deck. A diamond, we have the blocker, yeah, but he raised our flop. I mean, he raised our flop. So diamonds could definitely be there still.
And he's really setting up.
Following me?
Yeah, and he's really setting up for it because he should have bet a little bigger here, actually. Gave himself a 1-to-1. He should have bet like 13, 14 bigs.
But if he bet bigger, he's still coming along?
Yeah. But he's setting up his river jam. He's just going to, well, I guess since my money's in the pot, and that's not bad. He's close enough to 1-to-1 there. Yeah. No, I like that sizing, thinking about it now. Could have even done a little smaller.
Right. But there's so many river cards that we're just going to check fold to, though. I mean, yeah, if the board pairs, so I guess maybe there's, I don't know, the board pairs, you got, like, we don't want to see a diamond, so that's a third of the deck.
Right.
Ish, right? We don't want to see a diamond. We don't want to see a queen or a king or an ace. Well, we want to see a queen. We don't want to see a king or an ace.
Yeah, I think we missed our jam right here.
And then 2 pair. But that makes up about half the deck, though, still. I guess it is about half the deck we don't want to see. It's about half and half. It's pretty close. Yeah, I'd move that one up to Toe and see what he has to say about it. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So we do make the call on the river.
I was spot on, head on with the evaluation on the flop there. I'm pretty impressed with myself.
Yeah.
Like ace with a flush draw. And if that was the case, my whole theory was wrong, because if it was, well, no, because if the diamond came,
we're still winning.
We're drawing dead. Yeah, I was right. That was like the worst possible card we could see on the turn.
That doesn't make him a winner, you mean?
That makes us a loser. I mean, well, I guess the 10 of diamonds would have been the worst possible card, right?
Oh, any diamond makes us a loser.
Yeah.
All diamonds are bad.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I think this was the spot. This was the mistake right here.
But he doesn't fold. I don't think he folds even if you do jam, though.
I don't think so either. It was basically a pot-sized jam. Well, so going 15 bigs over pot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he's getting terrible odds. But yeah, I think he does call. Yeah, I'll move that one up.
I mean, it's not a mistake per se. I guess it would have been a mistake if a diamond came on the river. But it's only third of the deck, right?
Oh, third of the deck. That's a lot of the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a turn error.
I mean, you stacked them regardless. The end result was the same. So I just think that I think the result's the same, but we get a chance for a fold on the turn against something that's less. In all reality, I mean, the way it ran out, it seems like you got max value.
Well, we did get max value. I mean, we doubled up. Wow. All right, small blind, good player. I think it was an optimal 3-bet spot.
Yeah.
For big blind. 3-bet to 2.7 times 3.5, right?
Yeah. Because my gut says that this is a style choice, but I don't think it is, because there's a lot that we're still beating here, right? There's a lot that we're a 60-40 that we're 60-40 against for the most part.
So one of my favorite stats to use is unopened pre-flop raise. So this dude's raising 75% unopened from the button, 38% from the cutoff, 16% mid position.
I think that his button is just a tad big. Like, he probably should be going like 65 to 70. But yeah, I mean, even so, the fact that he's on the higher end scale, on a curved scale there, even more of a reason to 3-bet him.
And that might drop a little bit. I mean, we're talking 8 hands, so he's raised 6 out of 8 times.
Yeah.
from this scenario.
So yeah, I mean, for sure. I don't think I would have caught it. I probably
Oh
would have.
wow, I fold.
Really?
I think this is a missed spot.
Yeah, it's a miss spot. That's for sure a miss spot because I'm I'm debating if I'm going to call or raise him, and you let it go.
Yeah, it's a very surprising fold. Not my best work.
And also too something else that it's kind of my mindset there. If we three bet that, we not only can bet low boards, but we can bet high boards too. We can see bet low boards and high boards.
Oh, absolutely.
If we just flat, we can only bet medium to low boards. Or, I mean, we check, obviously. We check fold in most cases.
Which you have a high card, low card situation.
Yeah. Then you check call. Yeah.
So we defend here. Questionable.
You know me.
5.8.
You know this is where Toe and I disagree. You have odds, make the call. Like you got odds. Go for the grand slam.
So we check here with our gutter.
Good check.
So do we turn our third pair into a bluff?
Against an open, maybe.
So this
I mean,
dude's really short. I don't really feel like this player jamming on me. Me having to call third pair. So I'm guessing I'm.
So what do we have to bet? What do we have to bet to win this hand right now? I say big. I say we have to go big to win it, right?
So.
And if we go big, what choice does 5 Point have?
So if we go big here, they jam. We have to plan on calling, right?
Yeah, and then we're stuck with middle pair. And
we got draws too, you know. We got our gutter.
And we're risking a fifth of our stack in that process. And who's to know if high eight poker rejams over the top with like pocket deuces?
Right, yeah, there's that too. Well, deuces in this case is a set, but
well, you know what I mean. Like
threes is
basically because he totally would have set he totally would have just checked through with any set, right? Almost any queen two pair is checking through.
Yeah.
On that dry ass board. I don't think a bet is very conducive, especially with the stack sizing. I think we have to just check through and maybe bet rivers.
We do.
At least that's my evaluation. You can send this one through to Toe if you don't agree with me.
This is a mistake. I'm betting into a high traffic pot with very little equity here.
But you allow yourself to get away, though.
Yeah, I have a sizing that I can definitely fold to H8 poker. We do take it down, but I don't know if it's the best spot.
Yeah.
Betting. Yeah, I think that's a mistake.
But also, if we just check, we no longer have a queen.
Yeah, so there's that.
There's that. But I think that the stack sizes trump that. The fact that we're going to be stuck in the hand with a very marginal hand kind of trumps that aspect.
What do we think?
I like it. But I mean, some people wouldn't. I think that's a style choice.
So we flop our ace. Board's a lot drier than it looks.
He's in a big blind too. I think we can get value here. I'd bet small.
Yeah, I think this is a street to bet.
I think this is an opportune. I think this is like the perfect alley-oop spot.
Yeah.
And then if he follows 2 streets, then we just check down rivers.
Phone's going off.
But he is pretty much like going to be committed on an alley-oop.
So we go 2-5 into 5-4. So a little large.
I would have just bet 2.
Yeah.
Because at 2, you're at 9 something. He would be at 14. He's still committed on the turn if we alley-oop him. So maybe it's not an opportune alley-oop spot. Unless it's a missed turn and then make him play for it.
I don't know. I mean, do we make a big bet?
No, because then now
jam spot.
Well, I think we don't get a chance to play for a stack unless he's crazy sticky with like a flush draw or like or a flush draw 5-7 from the big blind. Like we're only going to be able to play for stacks with something that we're beating right now by betting big against flush draws and like those very awkward like straight draws, those middle range straight draws.
Yeah,
I would much rather bet small, evaluate the turn, and then make him play for a stack. Because we know we're ahead right now. At least he could have like an ace-4 or an ace-6, but like it's almost the same spot as the flush draw with the ace-queen, where like we're beating the majority of the range, even though they kind of had something that could beat us, right?
I think
that's my evaluation of it.
I think we got to go 2/3 here to get the value from that really small chunk of his range.
What's up?
That can call us.
That's fine. Can you bring it in here? Okay. Give me a quick second here. I'll be right back. All right, I'm good. All right. Oh, you're playing the imposter.
Yep.
The imposter. I've just recently started seeing that guy.
So his stats here are 23-1-0. When they quit tracking, he was down 17K. What's Toe posting?
I don't know. What was he saying?
It was in Team Toe General.
That's fine.
Oh, I booked Tunica.
Oh, sweet. Sweet. I don't know. An ace-6 off. I'm not feeling the squeeze, really. I'd rather just see it. That's just, I don't know.
We're putting a lot of pressure on main Grampy here.
What's up, Twirl?
Hey,
Glad you could join us, buddy.
Hey, Matt.
What's up?
Hey, Twirl.
How you guys doing today?
Good.
Oh, there it is.
So get you caught up on what we're looking at. We're looking at Wisco's 500 guarantee on Carbon deep stack. He final tabled it.
Nice.
So we are sitting on the big blind in a limped pot with ace-6 off.
So main Grampy here through, I don't know if I had all these hands on him at the time. Through 52, he's 25-2 player. We're also dealing with a 23-1 player. I think this is a spot that we have to go after these guys.
Actually, now that I see Grampy's stats, I agree. Even though we have like one of the two worst aces in the deck, I think we do have to squeeze it. I wasn't looking at Grampy's stats.
So now we got Grampy in 1-1 chip. Chip to stack. I do check here. We don't know how I feel about it.
But what would you have done, Twirl?
With a wet board like that, I would have bet.
Okay.
Because I have the high pair and I've got the ace blocker.
You know what I'd have done? I'd have made him play for it right then and there. We got the ace blocker.
Yeah.
Because he's pretty much 1-1 on stack to pot ratio, right? If you don't know what stack to pot ratio means, it basically means that a pot size bet is going to put your opponent all in, or it's going to put you all in. Folding to 1 SPR or folding to 1 stack to pot ratio is a major leak and a major mistake.
Okay.
So, or less than 1 SPR. Now, I don't want to say that it's a major leak in this situation, because he could have easily have missed. But if you call like the flop or the turn bet, or you make a call, you make a flop or turn bet, and then fold to one or less SPR, that is a major leak. Like, you want to be getting it in if you're 1 SPR with hands that hold value.
Right. I think I was trying to get him to jam there. It appears I end up checking again.
Here's my philosophy, and it's player based, right? If they're 25-2, chances are they're that limpy collie type.
Right.
That dude is calling you with an 8, is going to call you with an 8 king of diamonds. Well, an 8 with a king of diamonds.
Yeah.
He's going to call you every time. He's going to play his stack thinking his 8's good, thinking you're bluffing. Right? Every time. In a player like that's limpy collie, they're not going to jam on you. Even if they did have an ace that had a better kicker, they're not going to jam on you, and they're going to make you play 3 streets. I thoroughly advocate just getting the value against those style players when you can. And if you lose the race, you lose the race. It was going to happen anyway. You know.
Right. He does have hands out there that, I don't even bet till the river. There are some hands that he can play that way. Any of his 2 diamond hands, at least,
True.
So yeah, I should have went value. I probably wouldn't have got any chips, but I should have tried to get the value earlier in the hand. That's for sure.
Yeah. And I was giving the guy too much respect on the flop when I said just call, because I didn't realize that he was a fish like that.
Oh, this is one I actually already have marked. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Limp Collie players, I should probably be more aggressive. Try not to slow play them so much because they're not going to be betting into me anyways. Because the less
and if you're going to lose a race, you're going to lose a race because they're going to call you down with garbage anyway, right? They're going to call you down with those gutters, and they're going to call you down with the one card flush draws with the overs. Like they're going to call you anyway. Like you were destined to lose the race anyway. You might as well just get it in and when you know you're ahead.
Right. So here I launched the rare min.
With the min raise, yeah, because your effective stacks are low. Like I like it. What about you, Twirl? What do you think? You're on mute, Twirl, if you didn't know.
I just like talking to myself. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, so I would have raised. I would have thought that I would have raised a little bit more, but I actually like the min raise here better. So I probably would have gone 2.5 to 3, but I think the 2 is in this situation is better looking at the effective.
Yeah, because the larger we raise it, the more likely we're going to be committed to one of the short stacks, right? We don't want to get committed with a king 5, but we don't want to give them a free card. We don't want to give them a free flop either.
Right.
So in this specific spot, we got two guys right around 20 or less, what have you. So in order for these people to play against you effectively, properly, they got to jam.
Yeah, because they're both in rejam stacks.
So you're losing 2 to his 18. They're putting a lot of chips at risk to get this tiny pot.
Yep. Because they're between that 15 to 25 mark where they got a rejam for sure.
Now, what we don't want to do here is like if our big blind has like 12 or something, we don't want to commit ourselves with the king 5. We might actually end up folding in a lot of those spots.
Yeah, because that's true. If they're down to like, I would say as high as maybe even 13, between like 12 and 13 big blinds, we're considering a fold here because if we open and they jam from the big blind, that means that they're going to be jamming significantly wider, especially on those stacks, because they're in push fold range, which makes it a very sticky spot for us.
Right.
So we might even be considering a king 5 fold from the button.
Right. But if one of these guys is extremely short, like 7 or 6 big blinds,
and the other
7 or 6 big blinds.
I like playing the same way. If I have one rejam stack, I have another guy with 6 or 7 big blinds, I'll still min, let the guy with 6 or 7 come over the top, and I'll call.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm still giving myself some headroom to fold against our rejam stack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that brings up an interesting spot though, and I think that I'm right, but I'm not 100% sure. What if both stacks were at like between 5 and 7? Would you be jamming? You'd be jamming your king 5 then, wouldn't you?
Yep.
See, that's how ICM works, kind of. Even though we're not even close to the money, that's how, in general, ICM works, how it affects your range. Because we don't mind giving up 6 or 7 bigs, and we're going to call it regardless, so we might as well force them to play for it with a marginal hand. But we don't want to play for 12 or 15, between 12 and 15, so we might fold. But when they're in a rejam stack, we're going to keep it low because we can still get away. Does that make sense, Twirl?
Yeah, absolutely.
You take your flop off here.
A lot of good thought in that little button hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt.
That was a perfect hand to look at it that way too.
So here we're defending. Check.
Yeah.
Riptide does rip when we get away. So this is a 1/5 stack jam. right? Roughly.
Yeah, but I'm not calling it.
I'm
Not
folding
with the
this.
9 deuce.
I'm folding this all day, every day. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree.
And by the way, this other Johnny Be Good guy at this table is not me. He is an imposter. Never ever associate me with that guy. He's terrible.
And when they quit keeping stats, he was down 17K.
That is not me. What are you doing here? You got an open to 3 big blinds from what? Under the gun 1? No.
Really under the gun 2 because we're missing a player here.
We got button, cutoff, hijack, low jack. Yeah, under the gun 2. Yep.
And this dude's an 18-13.
What are you doing, Twirl?
I would fold this because we're on the final table. There's 9 players there. He's opening up with 3, and it's probably the wrong move, I guess. But
Let's see what our stacks are. I like a fold.
I kind of like a fold too. He is on the tighter side.
You do.
Obvious fold.
King 10 in general does not play all that well.
Even with the limpers, that's still a fold from middle position. What are you doing here, Twirl?
we have left this. Nobody kept behind us. We got 4 to act. 8. I'm definitely raising. I'm just trying to determine whether I'm thinking like 2.5 here.
This is kind of one of those tough spots. Do I just open it or do I just get it in? Because you got the big blind, who is the big stack, but you're going to be committed against everyone else. So this is I would actually move this one up to toe and see what he has to say about this one, because like this is a pretty tough spot. I mean, of course we're going to play it, but are we going to raise it or are we going to jam it? What do you say?
I'd say raise, call, all jams.
All jams, even from big blind?
All jams, yep.
I like
this guy's
raise,
pretty
call,
nitty.
all jams, but the big blind.
Think so? The 1 of 31 3-bet. Ugh.
Yeah. And he's 18-13, so if he does jam on us, like he's got it.
Well,
you know he's got
18-13-3.
plus. Like like the only thing that we're beating are like 10s and 9s, maybe. Like he might jam 10s, and that's still questionable, right?
So we go up to 2-2. Everyone folds out to the big blind, who calls. Oh, what can be played profitably this way?
From the big blind?
Yeah.
Like obvious home runs. I think we. Shit.
Can you play 8-7 suited profitably this way?
Yeah. I think that he's so like
Jack 10 suited.
I think he's so big heavy that we can play like our jack straights pretty strong. That makes sense because he's so top heavy. Like that board, we can play that board like all day.
Yeah.
And we can bet small and still fold to a jam. So we could bet 2.5 here, 2.2, and still get away.
He stays along.
Now we have the ace high. Check, call rivers. Because we got the jack blocker.
He checks turn. Yeah.
I mean, he's obviously going to call us. If he called that flop, he's calling that turn.
Well, we can be winning here. Our outset's not terrible. We do have a club blocker. It's pretty worthless.
What do you think, Twirl?
I agree with check here. I'd be trying to. I'd want him to be questioning whether or not I have a 10. If I have a 10, he knows that I'm going to bet here. Or if he knows I have the 10, he knows I'm not going to bet here. So I think you're doing more. You're hiding your hand a little bit better by checking here. I think that's my thought process.
How would you have played the flop?
Well, on this one with the 2 pair, I definitely would bet 2.2 to 2.5.
Okay. So if we bet the flop and he checks back, is he going to bet with a 10?
Probably not. That's why I'm kind of like not into.
I mean, well, he's not really going to bet anything because we're the aggressor, right? He's not even going to be betting his ace high. He's going to just let us spew to him, right?
Right.
So we don't have any information on what he actually has, even though we know the chances of him having a 10 or a 7 are probably pretty rare based off of his image and how it's ran out, right?
Right.
So the real question is, do we think that our ace high is good, or does he have a pair higher than 7 coming from the big blind? I want to say no because he is the whitest. Yeah, there's a chance he could have a pair, but in comparison to his entire range, the chances of him having a larger pair than a 7 are actually not as good as it would be compared to the rest of his range that we're beating. And because of that, I want to, and the fact that we have the Jack club blocker, which means that we have one of the few clubs that he would actually have for a straight or for a flush, I want to believe that we're ahead here. So if we're ahead, we're going to bet for value on this board because we're going to get called by less.
I'm checking to leave his bluffs in.
And you can do that too. But then you're risking rivers. You're risking overcard rivers that, like, you're risking a queen, you're risking a king.
6 cards?
Fair enough. Fair enough. Because what, 9s and 8s are actually pretty good for us.
Whoa, what the hell is that? I accidentally clicked something and now I'm getting commercials on this computer too.
Yeah. Are you bombing this river now, though? You just check back again.
Not. If I bet 3 bigs, what calls do I get? Do I get king highs to call? Probably not, right?
8s and 9s.
That we don't want to call.
Jacks are raising pre. Or queens and kings are raising pre. So we're losing to 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s.
We're not getting him off any pocket pairs at this point.
Yeah.
So if we're betting here, we want to get a call from ace 9 is the best hand he could have that we want to get a call from.
Yeah. And I'm glad you explained it that way. What do you think, Twirl?
I would be checking this just because it's more fear-based than anything else, thinking that he's maybe hiding that 10. I don't know. I'm not really. I feel like if you do a min raise for value, he's going to fold pretty much anything if he hasn't hit anything, and if he's got something, he's probably going to jam over the top, or he's going to call me and just take more of my chips. And it's the final table, so I'm trying to conserve my chips as much as possible so that I can.
I don't think this is the final table though.
No, I don't
I
believe so.
misunderstood. I
We got a
thought.
lot. We got a little bit left.
Okay.
Um, you know, now that the way that you guys explained it, my first gut instinct was to bet 5 and make him get it in. But I think there are a lot of middling middle. There's a lot of middling middle pairs that beat us right now. So yeah, we got check down value. We just check it back.
Do we?
But before you flip it over, does an ace 7 fold? Does an ace 6 fold?
Good God, no.
Okay.
Not unless you're really jamming him, and then he might, but not if he's a good player.
Okay.
The only way I bet this is small for value. So we want to get ace 9, ace 8, ace 5, ace 4, ace 3, ace 2, king, queen, king, jack.
And you're folding to jams.
King 9 is out of his range probably. King 9 suited.
If we're gonna fold to jams, we might as well just take it. We might as well just check
Take
it.
showdown.
Right? Yeah, we got showdown value. We got the kicker. We might have been able to get value from him. He had the ace blocker. We might have been able to get showdown value from that guy.
Yeah.
That's one of the rare spots where we would have, though, I think, based off of his range.
I mean, because he plays 17% from the big blind. I don't know how many hands that's through.
It says 12.
Oh yeah, through 12 hands. Not a really big sample size.
What are you doing here, Twirl? Oh,
It's ace jack and I'm 2.5. I guess I should be doing 2.2, but 2.5 is usually what I would bet.
I think that we can min raise this and call jams. That's the difference. See that, and this is kind of just a style thing, like where Wisco bets 2.2. He kind of likes to add the extra 0.2 to kind of put a little added pressure to the big blind, so it doesn't make it so easy. It's just a snap call with almost anything from the big blind. Me, I like to keep it more uniformed and easier for me to do the math on. That's why I just keep it just like 2, 2.5, 3. But Whiska's a little different. You know, it's really a style choice. You just got to kind of find where your niche is and what you like to do. Just know the general guideline. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So this is kind of just a difference between Whiska and I style for the most part.
And this wouldn't be the worst rip in the world either. These stacks behind us.
Yeah, I'm just worried about the 15. You see
So
what
we
he
get
did
called
there?
short stack calls from the big blind.
Yeah. So
Next to us.
he checks to us. You notice he only has 4.5 bigs compared to our 32, right?
Yep.
What do we have, right? What could he have? He's really wide. I don't know. That's still, I think. I don't know. What would you do, Twirl?
I would bet.
But
So
if we're going to bet, though, we're going to put him all in because he's 1 SPR, right?
yeah, that's the leak I have. So
And what, we only beat air right now with a gut shot and 1 over?
no, that's a good point because even if you do a min bet, he's gonna if he's got it, he's gonna shove.
But if he min bets and he jams on us, like, we're behind and we have to call, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly.
So it's pretty much like either check or making play for it. Pretty much. At least that's what I think. What was your thought process, Wisco, in having him get it in? Did you just see that he only had like 4.5 and just thought, well, he's got a king or he doesn't?
Yeah, from here, this is the only spot in the hand that we're guaranteed any fold equity that we might have.
Yeah.
And we still, like even against the 10, we still have 6.
Against the 10, we actually got a lot of outs.
Against the king, we have, 7? So we're not doing terrible against the hands that hit this the best.
And we're only losing about 15% of our stack.
Right.
If we lose. So, yeah, I mean, based off of the equity in comparison to the fold equity, I agree with this jam. I probably wouldn't have caught it end game. I probably would have checked to see if he would check back turns, and then I would have jammed turn. But I think that in general, I think this is the better jam spot making play for it because we get the most fold equity right here than we would on most turns.
See what this player should have done?
He should have just jammed on you, right?
You're going to make this call.
He should have never made that call. He should have just got it in.
Yeah, but if he's going to, sometimes to increase fold equity, what players will do here is they'll call, then they'll jam all flops.
Well, yeah, it's a stop and go, and so you might as well get it in early, like because if you planned on jamming any flop, then the result would be the same.
I'm really surprised this player played this hand this way.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Twirl, don't ever do what H8T Poker just did. If you got 4 big blinds and you want to see it, either get it in or just fold. Like, don't just make that call for a 30-year stack against a huge stack that's going to put you all in on the turn. Because you're only going to hit 30% of flops, right?
Yeah, the only way I'm calling there is if I plan on barreling the next hand regardless of what flops.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just want to get that in. You want a good enough hand that you're confident in just to get it in there. Like,
well, here's the thing, and maybe this is, bad thinking on my part, but when I'm playing a big stack, like, I'm figuring he's going to be betting anything because you're way above almost everybody behind you. And if I'm in the big blind and I just flat, then when the flop comes, because he's not going to fold to me jamming him in my right. So if I jam him, I'm going to jam him on the flop because I have found, maybe it's because of the stakes I'm playing, but I've been finding that people will get away from hands even if I jam with air in this situation because it looks like I got lucky and I just hit something on the flop.
Yeah, it's a stop and go, and I guess some people still use it. It's kind of a dying breed though. Like no one really uses it much anymore, but I mean it still works. Don't get me wrong. It's just in today's meta game, it's not as prevalent as it used to be when everyone played like really like tight aggressive, right?
Yeah.
When everyone played tight aggressive, like everyone used it. But now that 3-bet ranges are so wide and 4-bet ranges are almost like polarized to this point, like no one uses the stop and go anymore. They just accept the fact that they're going to either win or they lose, and they just get it in. But in the right game, especially, and I want to use the card chat free roll as an example. You can use the stop and go in that game. And the reason why you can use it in that game is because everyone plays like 2013.
Yeah.
So it still works in those kind of games. But in the $5 Sunday 10K on ACR and you stop and go, it won't work. I promise you. They'll call you right here with a jack ace.
Oh yeah.
They'll call you with an 8-9 right here.
The entire range.
They'll call you with their entire range. So if they're going to call you with their entire range on a stop and go, you might as well get it in, right?
Fair enough.
So it really just depends on what game you're playing, if it's going to work or not.
But getting to the turn is a lot better for our opponent here than it is for us.
Yeah,
if he does have 8-9, whatever, or not 8-9 is a poor example because 8-9 flop pretty good. But anything that doesn't have a pair, one pair is much more valuable for him than us. So we need to be getting our chips in to deny that equity.
Yeah. Now, let's say that he did stop and go OldWisco. Are you folding?
No, I'm calling.
Yeah. What in your range are you not calling a stop and go with?
I'm trying to come up with the best hand.
Would you call sixes or less?
Yeah.
Well, no, because sixes really aren't even in that range. Like, well, yeah, sixes. Yes,
I can have sixes here, and yes, I'm calling.
Well, then if you're calling sixes, you're calling pretty much anything in your range. Then pretty much, right? Because sixes is the one hand that probably has the least amount of equity in this spot out of our entire range.
If I found a raise here with 4-5 suited.
You're raising 4-5 suited from under the gun too?
Saying if I would have, that'd probably be about the best hand I would fold.
But would you can't tell me you would open 4-5 suited from under the gun too with these stacks. That's just crazy. I wouldn't. I'd be folding 4-5 suited in this spot. Maybe jamming it if I was just feeling drunk. If I was drunk.
I'm not saying I would. I'm trying to find the best hand that I.
I guess that proves our point. But like, that's how ridiculous it would have to be for us to fold, right? To a stop and go.
And I can't. I don't want to screw up my. I would look at my stats at 4-5 suited, but I don't want to screw everything up here.
Yeah, it's all good. All right.
But yeah, that's the best hand this opponent can get me off of right now.
Yeah.
Get a chance, we do checks.
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna see it. I'm not raising that. And we hit the sticky homer that might get caught on the wall. What are you doing? What are you doing here, Toro?
I can tell you exactly what would happen here. I would probably bet heavy, get 12, and somebody's got 10, and then they would hit the second pair in a river fucking turn.
And it does. It sucks. It sucks when that happens because that's pretty much what happens in these spots. Like more than we like to admit. Against these stacks, I mean, I'm not worried about my alter ego here. Like he's 23-1. He's gonna be scared to death of it. He's gonna shit his pants if I get it in here. And I'm not scared to lose a race to an 11-8 and a 7-9. Like, I'm jamming this. I'm jamming the shit out of this. I'm getting it now. I got low bottom pair. I can't really improve. There's a lot that it can beat me. Like, what do you think, Wisco?
I think it's a good trap spot.
Do you? The exact opposite. You're not scared at all. I'm scared to fucking death.
Well, I mean, let's say Johnny woke up with it here.
He woke up with it, fucking.
I'm still continuing the tournament with 16 bigs.
Right. I mean,
what I don't want to have
full range.
What I don't want to have happen, I want to give both Riptide and 5 Point the opportunity to bluff this hand or bet for value with their 10. I'm leaving a lot of bluffs in from these guys by checking.
I guess this would be an aggression factor check, really. Like I'd be checking aggression factor against I can see that. A large aggression factor, they're more likely to bet into you, so you can check jam.
So this dude, early position, he's 38-4. So in that 38, he has like, I don't know, 10-7. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
10-7 suited, shit like that.
Or like an ace-8.
Or air.
King-8. There it is.
Players can air out this flop too.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I kind of want to just get it in. Because I feel like I'm ahead right now. Like, I feel like I'm ahead. Like, against these low stacks, I want to get it in while I'm ahead. And if Johnny wins the race, he's going to win the race anyway because of the way he plays. If he already has it, he already has it. If he's got the 10-10 and just limped along like he probably would with 10-10s, that's all he's got.
And if we're super deep here, I'm probably gonna bet for value, but against these stacks, I'm gonna check, let them make a move.
Okay.
Oh, but I do bet out.
You bet small too.
Surprisingly, almost half pot.
Like you're not scared at all right now. Like you think you got the best hand and it's gonna hold.
Oh yeah.
I'm scared to death. I'm fucking shitting my pants right now on this.
And Johnny can do damage to us. No one else really can.
I know.
So there's that too.
I know. I think you're
So
gonna
we
make
do
that
bet. I like the check better, but we do bet. We get a jam and a fold.
You don't fold.
Well,
You don't fold.
Wow, he actually that was a good hand against me.
He had the. I mean, yeah. He was like, I'm either gonna get there or I'm not. Like.
So this player screwed up his open jam pre. That's what
Yeah,
happened.
he did. 5 point? Yeah, he should have just been in there pre and you would have gotten away.
Riptide kind of screwed that up for him.
But did he though?
I would have
no, he was Queen Jack, right?
Queen Jack off, yeah.
I think that at 8 big blinds, even with Queen Jack off against a limp, it's like, I'm either going to get this in. I'm not going to limp along because what am I going to call a jam? I would rather be getting it in than calling a jam. Wouldn't he just fold?
Yeah, he should have jammed.
He should have jammed or folded. Like,
That said, he got a really good flop.
yeah, he ran into it for you.
But yeah, I think I like a check there. But same result. If I check 5 points, I would assume has to do some kind of a bluff raise. And the pot would be 4.8. You got 7-9. It'd be a great overjam spot for him, probably. I would think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because he jammed out 1-1 here, basically. Yeah, I think I like the check a lot better. Do you like betting big there, Johnny?
I just like
Protecting?
yeah, I would much rather just protect it. Because it was a limped pot. Like I don't put 5 points. I don't put 5 point on Queen Jack. I don't put them on any paint. Like maybe a suited connector that he didn't mind just limping along because he plays good post flop and then fold to any jam.
Yeah, I mean this guy's a good player. I mean he's maybe a little tight, but
I got a bird. And that's my thing. Like right now, I just see a lot of those like suited marginal hands, middle range hands, just limping along there because no one wants to commit their stacks with like suited connectors or suited one gappers, and that hits all of it. You know what I mean? Like I would much rather be like, you're either going to call me with a draw or you're not. You're not going to call me with a 10. Well, you might call me with an ace 10, but you would have been getting it in with an ace 10. You know? I don't know.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a quick question here?
Yeah.
I'm curious, if you, let's assume Wisco had checked that. Riptide checks, 5-point shoves, because he was probably going to shove anyway. Do you think that because you haven't bet that there's a chance that Johnny Be Good 4 would see his call, and how would that change your action? I mean, obviously you're going to call anything, but would you then shove Johnny Be Good at that point, or wait till a turn?
I would probably try, because Johnny Be Good has the 7-9. He has all the hearts.
Right.
Could be calling behind with overcards. I doubt he would have overcards. It would have to be.
Well, I figure he doesn't, because he folds to the all in from 5-point. But I'm wondering if that fold was somewhat based on your stack, because he knew you were still in the hand, even though that guy shoved.
So you're asking what would we have done if Johnny Be Good shoved?
Called, I think.
Called, not shoved.
Oh, if he just called it.
Yeah.
Probably have to go over the top.
Well, so you're saying 5-point jams and then Johnny Be Good just calls?
Right.
I think we would have to jam, because Johnny Be Good is one of those players, not me, is one of those players that he's only going to call along if he's got, like, he thinks that he's got a good hand, but he's not good enough to understand the perception of the texture of the hand either. So with that said, an example, Johnny Be Good would call the 3-bet with a king 10, with a king 10, king of hearts, and not realize that the majority of 5 points range is going to beat him, right?
You would a recreational player like this guy wouldn't need the heart. If they have a 10, they're rocking with it.
Yeah. Now, let's say on the flip side too, and this is what you see a lot at the low. This is what you see at a lot of the lower stakes, that, like free rolls, for instance. I see it a lot in the card chat free roll, where in this spot, let's say Johnny Be Good limped in with Jacks plus, right, from the small blind. He's like, oh, I'm going to get him. I'm going to get him to bet into me, and I'm just going to call him. But Johnny Be Good, he would be jamming. He'd be jamming Jacks plus here after the limp, because he feels like he's so disguised, right?
Right.
And a lot of the time it'll work. So a lot of the time it'll work, but the times it doesn't work is exactly like what we see right here, because, like, this is what happens. Like, the 8-4 gets there, right? And your line didn't work. And the first time that you ever do that, a good player is going to put a note on you, and they're going to combat it every time. Like, it's only going to work once against an unknown player. After that, it will never work again. I promise you. You'll get away with it once. That's it. So with that said, I would feel much better if Johnny Be Good jammed his stack, because I would put him on overcard. I would put him on an overpair than him just calling. Because if he just calls, then I know that he got a piece of the 10, and if overcard comes, now I'm worried about top 2 pair.
Well, that's why we want to get it in if he does call.
Yeah.
Because then it makes, there's so many turns that are hard to play here. Basically, all turns 9 and up are a pain in the ass to play.
Mm-hmm.
10's a really rough card for us right now.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
So yeah, anyways, he had the nice redraw too, which he almost got there. That's a great turn for him also.
That's an amazing turn for him.
Yeah. 6 deuce. I think I'm calling. Call with
6
10.
deuce here?
What's that?
Actually, with the stack differential, I am super wide right here to hit another home run.
Are you jamming?
No.
Okay.
I'm just seeing it.
Ooh.
What are you doing the same thing, Twirl?
Me, I'd fold. I would have folded that. Wait a minute. Are we in a small blind?
We're in the small blind.
Oh yeah, I would have called. I would have called that.
Yeah. Here's my thing though, and like, I guess this will give me a little insight on you, Twirl. You say you're going to call that, right? And you're going to check. You're pretty much going to check all flops, I would assume. Am I correct?
Yeah, more and less. Sure.
Okay.
I don't know. I got to see what the.
Okay.
On the texture of the flop. If I get a wet club board, I'm going to be betting.
Right. What are you looking for? Like, what do you want by playing a 6 deuce suited from the small blind? Like, what's going to make you feel comfortable outside of your typical like set of sixes or like a flop straight? Like, what's on a rainbow board? What's going to make you feel good?
Well, I'm looking at it as far as it's only half a blind, so I'm getting in cheap, and big stack limping like that is not showing much of the hand, so I'm wide open as far as what my range is here.
Yeah, mostly, yeah.
And Riptide hasn't. Well, again, I don't know what Riptide's. I can't assume what Riptide's going to do, so I'm kind of waiting to see if Riptide's just going to call that or if he's going to raise.
I like how you said something. You said we are wide open with our range here, but I mean, are we though? Are we wide open with our range?
We're a super.
Obviously we don't have the top side of our range because we just called, right?
Oh, that's a good point.
We're exceptionally capped.
Yeah, we are very, very capped. But
yeah, that's
now here's the thing though, like for the boards that we're gonna hit with our holdings, we have a very good range in comparison to those boards if they come, right? But let's say the board came like ace jack 6 with the ace and the jack being clubs. We just got ourselves into a sticky ass spot we don't really want to be in, right? Because we got the flush draw, we got the bottom pair, but we got enough of it to be in it, right? But obviously, we don't have the aces and we don't have the jacks because we're capped. It's just something to think about. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I follow it, but I'm also thinking if the guy's limping, the chances, and I'm not talking about the big blind as much as the guy behind us. I'm thinking he's not going to just limp without it with an ace. Maybe I'm giving him too much credit. I don't know.
I don't think he's limping with an ace either. What do you think, Wisco?
He's at 18-13. So that means he's very condensed. I would pop my I think
he was talking about the big blind.
The big blind or the other guy?
He was talking about the big blind.
No. I was talking about the
guy who originally limped.
Big Stack John, whatever his name was.
Okay, so this dude's an 18-13, right? Let's get back here. So if we want to range him, let's turn this up to 18%.
He's not that high though. He's earlier position. There's gonna be less than that.
Right, but this is how you create your range. Then you go down to 13. They should be raising 13%. These are the hands he should have.
True.
The blue ones.
He is crazy condensed.
Why wouldn't ace 8 suited or ace 9 suited be in his range?
Ace 8 or ace 9? It might be.
It might be.
I'm gonna move this.
I don't understand what you mean by this condensed. I just would have figured anything from 6-6 on up he's going to have, and then any 9 off up, O up.
This one.
Well, when they limp, we can't put them at the top of the range anymore, right?
Oh, gotcha. Okay, thank you.
No,
Yeah.
block. Fuck. Can't
So,
remember
like,
which one I
the
used.
range condenses because he limped. Like, we can't put him there anymore. We got to put him at the very bottom of his range based off of what his HUT stat says.
Can you
He's
guys
only
see all
playing
this down
18%
here?
of hands and then he limps. Like, there's probably only 7 or 8 different hands he could have. Or he's trying to trap with a monster, but like I said, you're only going to get away with that once.
Right.
See, like this might be his range too, Twirl.
Okay.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of different ranges. Like we can use Helmuth groups. This would be Helmuth's ranges in this spot.
Interesting.
But what we're saying is he's super middling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, now I understand. Thank you for explaining that.
Uh-oh, what did I do?
Um,
I can just do that.
I don't know.
That's good. Good now,
there you
right?
go.
So yeah, we can range him. I don't know how much that helps when he's got 13 bigs.
If it comes like 5-4, 5-4 anything, 5-4 X, we're good.
We love life.
Mm-hmm. We hate that flop though.
Why?
Because that like falls right into their criteria.
Yeah, he does have a lot of Queen 10.
Jack 10.
Shit, he has Queen 9, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
Both of them do.
8, 9.
Yeah, that's a terrible flop for us.
I do bet out. I'm guessing what happened was I was going between tables, and I thought I was on a limp lead.
You know. It gets even worse. We just give up, right?
So I check here.
Now, you know, Twirl, like I said the last couple of weeks, how I said we should be betting paired boards. You know how I was talking about that?
Sure.
This is definitely one of those spots where we do not want to be betting the paired board. Can you tell me why?
Well, it was interesting because we're first to act, so we don't know. We have no information on the other guys, and
I mean, we do.
We have
Well,
no.
let me say something.
Say we have no. That was wrong. That was wrong. I'm sorry.
No. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I kind of want to change the way you're thinking about it. Right? Okay. You're not wrong. But it's more about we do have information because they limped. Limp being told us that their range is condensed. They're not at the top of their range. And for them to open limp means that they at least have something worth playing. So that means that they're at the very middling area of their range, right?
Right.
So that does give us information, right? So you're not wrong, right? Like, we are limited on the information we have, yes. But we do have a little bit of information. If anything, we have information on Big Stack John because he opened limp. But Rip Tide, we have virtually no information on him because he just checked his big blind. He is pretty much completely, I mean, I don't know. He's pretty middling too, just because he only has 10 big blinds left, right? But I want to believe that he doesn't have the top of his range either. But he's going to be calling, he's going to be just checking along, like with stronger hands than what Big Stack John is limping in.
Sure.
Okay?
Right.
Right.
He has 10 here.
Yeah.
So
go ahead. And I hope I didn't take you completely off your train of thought.
No, no.
But go ahead and explain to me, like, why we wouldn't want to bet this paired board.
Well, because of what Wisco explained with the condensed range the guy's on, we really have no equity in this hand right now, except for a
Sure.
backdoor flush, and we have the low. We have a very low backdoor flush at that.
Exactly. So that's what we call fold equity. So we have equity and fold equity, right? Fold equity is based off of what our opponents could possibly have in comparison to the board to get them to fold in comparison to what we have, right?
Okay.
So because Big John's stack is so Big John's range is so condensed down to that middling range, right? Like the Queen 9, like the Jack 10, like the 8-9. And Riptide is also right there. That means that we have no fold equity, right? Because the majority of the range hit this board. We can't push them off and make them believe that we have something better because everything that they have touched this. And we're not going to get folds. If we're not going to get folds, that means we have low fold equity. And then you combine the fact that we have no actual equity means that this would be a check.
Cool.
I, however, bet. And if I'm going to bet this, I want to say this is the best spot, but really the best spot.
You did bet it. You limp it.
Well, there's another limper in here, so it's really not a limp lead. And I did limp and I did lead.
No, yeah.
But I probably would have been better off checking, bluffing favorable turns.
I think that would have played better.
I think this is a terrible bluff hand, but I'm just thinking about where the best spot is to bluff. You know what I'm saying? And I think I picked the second best. So I check here. These guys go nutty. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
This Riptide, that's me.
Got all of it.
Wow.
And it came down to exactly the way we said it too. What, like that Riptide's going to be limping along with a stronger range.
Well, this strong is kind of shocking.
You don't. Well, yeah, it being suited, like he should have been jamming King Queen, I think.
And this dude with 11, 12, 15, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go, he should have been in too, probably.
Yeah, I don't understand that play at all. Especially, if you're gonna play with 10, you're just playing to hope that you hit the fucking flop. And he got lucky in that case because there was 2 queens, but then he got slammed because Riptide had a better kicker.
I definitely think that's a mistake on Riptide for not jamming.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that as well.
I mean, I think that any limp early position is a mistake, but that's just me. But
Oops.
I used to like doing that, but I was watching a webinar yesterday. I think it was from Gripsed, and he said something in there that made a lot of sense. He goes, "You're either going to play poker or you're going to play. I hope I hit the flop."
Sure.
And that's a concept I'm still mulling over. It makes a lot of sense. Like, you can't play this like you play a lottery and hope that you're going to hit your cards. You got to put pressure on people.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, me personally, I'm not against just like limping to see it and giving up. Like I'm not, especially in like stacks like these where we got a huge lead.
Sure.
I really don't mind just limping along and then giving up because we have the big blinds to give, and if we hit a grand slam, they're going to jam into us, right?
Where are we?
I mean, yeah, you don't want to be doing it all the time, but like you can definitely do it wider than you typically would, especially in this spot where like we got 50 bigs compared to like 20, 14, 11. Like we got a huge lead right now. We can limp along and see flops, especially from the blind. Well, from the blinds, I wouldn't be doing it. I wouldn't be doing it like. I'd be doing it very rarely on the button, and I probably would never be doing it on the cutoff. But in the blinds, I'm probably doing it a lot. Pocket fives. Everyone playing that? You playing that twirl?
Yeah, but I'm gonna raise a little heavier than 2.1.
Why?
2.5 to 2.8 is what I would bet.
Yeah. But why?
My thinking is in terms of protecting my small pair and trying to get other people out of the pot. Maybe it's too aggressive, but that's where my thinking is.
But I think that when they only have like 6 big blinds, 6.5 big blinds, they're already risking a third to a quarter of their stack. So like if you're going to make them play for half their stack, all you're doing is forcing yourself to make the call, right?
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, you got Riptide with 32-7, but he's going to treat this the same way because he's got the small stacks behind him. If he has a hand that he doesn't want to play for 8, 9 bigs, he's going to fold to a 2.5 just as fast as he'd fold to a 3 or a 4.
Interesting. That's a good point. Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, I can also see the justification in just getting it in, but Riptide's stack is pretty large. Like I don't be too bad. I don't know. Like I like the just open and just play it standard.
What about here? Do we 4-bet ISO?
I think we have to. Because Riptide just flat us, so his range is already capped, right?
Should be, yeah.
But is he a thinking player and thinks, okay, well, if I flatten one of these guys' jams, I can call an ISO with my queens?
What do you guys mean?
Or with my aces?
He's off his top 5%.
Okay.
See, 3 bets, 5% of his hands. And you see PFR 17.
I mean, how sick would that be? How sick put ourselves in Riptide's spot, right? You have position against an open. No. Like, take.
Keep talking, Johnny.
Okay, let me think here. Are we pulling up his flatting range?
Yep. It should be about this.
Put in aces, kings, and queens. Think about this. Put in aces, kings, and queens.
If you put those in the range, then he's killing us. But
exactly, that's what I'm saying. Think about it though, and I'm just saying, like in the future, think about this. This could be like genius. So hear me out. Go back and show the hand. Look at the stacks. You have an open with a 5-5 from the middle position. You're Riptide, and all that you have left to act are less than 10 bigs, a third of your stack.
Sure.
How fucking sick would it be just to flat aces, kings, or queens in this spot, knowing that if anybody has anything that they're jamming over the top?
Yep.
And knowing that if OldWisco is to isolate, you have him destroyed and you just stacked him.
Yep.
How gross! Like, I think I just found a new line I want to take if I ever get the chance to.
Great spot, unlikely, but yeah.
I mean, it doesn't come very often. I actually have a donk range from the small blind and the big blind, and I've never once been able to use it. Like, I actually have a donking range from small and big blind. But like, I've never been able to use it. And I think that this might be another one of those spots where this would be so sick if I'm ever able to actually use it.
Yeah, if player caught the spot with kings or whatever.
Yeah, like it would only work. It would only work if everyone left to act behind you. If everyone left to act behind you only had like maybe between like maybe 7 to 10 big blinds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that shit down so I don't fucking forget it.
Well, and you need the dumbass with 35 in there too. Me.
Well, but
in this case.
But
it's
seriously, not a bad play. It's a good play. It's the good play for you to ISO this spot, right?
Holy shit, I call. And he ISOs, and I fold.
He did it. He did exactly what I was talking about. Look at that shit. He did exactly what I was fucking talking about.
Because I should ISO here, right?
Yeah, and Riptide's fucking pissed that you didn't ISO. He's like, God damn it, I could have stacked the fuck out of him.
I got off 5s, and he had kings.
Oh, that's so gross. You fucking did it.
Look at those hands.
Oh.
Wow.
What?
I can't believe I fucking... Damn it, I thought I was the first one to think of that shit. Obviously, I'm not. Right?
Wow.
That's pretty fucking ironic. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that is so awesome. That makes me feel so good.
How do I not remember this hand?
Like, how do you just call that?
Well, how many games were you playing at this time?
How did you just flat that? How did you not lose your stack there? You know what I mean?
No more than 3 games, I'm sure, Twirl.
Because you knew that. Was you thinking that Riptide would just flat you with less than 5s, and that you'd be in a coin flip situation? Is that what you were thinking? Because I can see that.
So we got 17-1 in here. Plus 30.5.
That is so sexy on Riptide's part. I'm so impressed with it. If I ever see Riptide in chat, I'm just gonna be like, hey, I was studying one of your hands and you about made me cream my pants with a movie made with Kim. I'm not gonna say which one it was, but I was thoroughly impressed. I'll say it in chat.
So here we're getting 13.8 plus 30.5, right? 3.8 is the actual pot plus 30.5 equals. So that's what we're set mining for. We can get 44.3 big blinds max value.
But I don't even think I'm set mining right now. Like, I think that I'm ahead.
I'm guessing that's how I saw the pot.
You didn't think you were ahead? You didn't think that you had a better hand than Riptide? Because you're not worried about Micro and Big Stack John right now. Because, like, if you lose to them, you lose to them. Like, you got it in right against what their push fold range is or their rejam range is. Like, you have that destroyed. You only have to worry about Riptide. So you thinking that you weren't beating Riptide's flatting range?
My logic might have been I flatted.
Because if you would have jammed that he was calling you with almost 90% of his range and you didn't want to play a 4-way pot with 5s knowing that there's a lot of others.
Well, another thing with this specific spot, so we have these 2 players all in.
Mm-hmm.
How many cards 5 and below are they holding between the 2 of them? Probably 0, right?
Probably 0.
So that probably means that there's 4 live overs up against me, right?
Yeah, but I'm not worried about losing to them, though. If anything, that makes me want to isolate more. Because they're not going to destroy my stack like Riptide would. Did you mark this one?
Yeah.
Make sure you put in there how sexy I thought Riptide's fucking move was.
Hey, Wisco, is it possible you got preoccupied with one of the other games you were in and maybe timed out? Since you
I
don't...
didn't time out because I made the call.
Oh, okay.
My best thought would be that it was. I mean, it's possible that I got to the game, called, and went to a different game.
The one argument that I think that can be made here is that you're worried that Riptide could, with Riptide's overs, actually makes it so we are significantly behind here if they're not counterfeiting each other.
Right.
And that if you jam, Riptide actually has like the pot odds to call you with 90% of his range, which is a coin flip against us heads up. And in comparison to the other two, even though the other two have a significantly smaller stack, like they probably have overs too. So that means that over half the deck is going to beat us on 5 cards, right?
Oh yeah.
But and like that's really about the only argument I can see by not ISOing and just flatting. Because for our 5s to hold in a multi-way pot, the way that it's played is going to be very hard. We probably are holding at best 10% equity in this hand right now, right? But if we get Riptide out, we probably jump up to at least 25. But does Riptide get out of the hand by us jamming, or are we inducing him to call us even more because now he's got pot odds to do it? I mean, either way, he's probably coming along. But is our jam to make it 50 bigs enough for him not to call the remaining 30? I don't know if it is.
Because we're jamming almost 3 pots, right?
Yeah.
Two, 6, 6, 7.
So 2.6 pots. See, I don't know.
That might have been my logic too. Is do I really want to put 3 pots back into this fucking thing?
I can see it. Like I can see that argument. But I guess my argument is like he's gonna come along anyway. Like give him an excuse to fold, and if he doesn't, then we're just behind. But we're gonna be behind anyway.
Yeah, I'm really interested in showing Toe this.
Yeah.
Seeing what he has to say.
And like Riptide's move there, like, and for me to like call it out before we even showed it, like, and to see it, that was amazing to me.
Yeah, no doubt.
I was like, how sexy would that be if Riptide did this? And you're like, oh shit, that's exactly what he did.
Well, that was a pretty ninja move you made there, OldWisco, by holding.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
for here.
You know Riptide was pissed too. He was probably like, fuck, it didn't work. I wanted it to work. I wanted that ISO so bad.
I wonder why he bets so much here.
because he wanted to just get it in at that point. Because he was pissed that you didn't actually ISO. Because he wanted to call your ISO. He didn't want to make the ISO bet. He wanted to get as much in the middle before he made the ISO bet as he possibly could. And when you flat, he was like, "Fuck it. Well, I guess I have to ISO now." I was hoping that OldWisco would ISO so I could stack, so I could triple up, or I could take out 2-3 people.
Well, he's already taken out 2.
Yeah, but those are 2 small stacks.
Right.
You were the original opener, and he only had small stacks behind him that are more likely to jam with less. So he was like, well, if these people are jamming with less, OldWisco is going to isolate me, and I got his ISO range destroyed.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I know Riptide played well. I'm just kind of wondering what Toe's going to say, you know, like,
yeah,
this spot right here. And I think once we get here, we got to fold.
Yeah, we got to fold to that ISO.
But I'm wondering what he's going to say right here.
Yeah.
You know.
I think you know what? I bet he's going to be like, oh, that's an ISO all day. That's an ISO. Oh, that might not be an ISO anymore.
Right.
Maybe the game has changed.
Maybe he's not super timid. Maybe he's super tricky, huh?
Super tricky. Actually, I don't know. Like, I put timid / tricky because maybe he's timid and not realize that he's tricky.
Yeah.
He might not even realize how sexy of a move he just made. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Interesting. They're sure leveling Riptide this session, that's for sure. We got one here. Oh, nope. No, we don't. I thought that was a adult for a second. What do you think, guys?
It's the baby.
You still there, Johnny?
Yeah, I'm here. What would you do, Twirl?
I'm trying to. Nobody's bet yet, right? Or did
So these guys,
are they 3-bet?
Beamer Bob went 3x. There's a caller by Dream Weaver.
Yeah, so I'm folding this.
Okay.
Oh wait, I didn't realize the 25. But yeah, I'd fold this.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a fold all day.
Offsuit hands do not do well in those spots.
I'm gonna go. Keep Twirl in the loop. I'm gonna run out in the living room real quick and grab the baby's boppy and try to set her up.
Yep. So 6-7 here.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm raising. This is a kind of rough spot because if 5-point jams, we probably end up folding, but we don't like it much. And this player is actually probably playing less than optimal. They should probably be jamming or folding there. But he donks out, and we just let it go.
Okay.
I'm happy with my fold there.
Yep.
As it turned out. But yeah, this player probably played their hand less than optimal. All right, 20.2. We got 4 players behind us. Ace-9 off. I am raising. I don't know how much at this point. So 5 points comes over the top of us. We're calling. Riptide folding. Beamy Bob folding. Finn's Fan calling. Does that make sense to you, Twirl?
Absolutely.
So we come out 2-1, and it gets through.
Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I think this is a spot that we probably could have opened. However, we don't really want to race with this hand, Twirl. And our odds of racing with the smaller big blind are very good in this spot. So I like the fold there.
Yeah, I like that fold as well.
See, this guy must have... Either this guy's not thinking too hard or he's looking for just like a little rejam thing. It's hard to say. That'll be a fold.
Easy.
Ooh. It's probably a rejam spot. So
I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean,
so this dude's 2019. Unopened from cutoff 30%, button 49%. It's 20% gap. 10% from mid position to cutoff.
I think I fold this. I find a better spot. We're getting late tournament, right? ICM starting to come into play.
I'm guessing so.
I would probably let this go.
And it's 5-1 with, yeah. I can see me folding this. Yep, I do fold it. I don't think I missed the spot. I think that's a good fold.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if he was from the button, we'd make a good case to jam it. I mean, because he jumps from 30 to 49. Ooh, I wonder if I'd do anything here. I'm guessing I fold.
Ooh, you got a limp.
Mm.
I got yelled at on Wednesday for this spot. Like, I about said we should just limp along, but Toe yelled at me because we went over my 20K run.
Yeah.
And like there were so many of these spots that I was just limping along, and he's like, "Dude, you just check fold flop so often that like you're just pissing away big blinds."
And queens are really rough flush cards, unless you have like the queen 10.
And because of the limp, we have to take it to at least like 3. And then if we go 3, we got to call it jam.
We're 16 here. We're jamming over limpers.
Yeah. If we made up our mind that we're gonna jam that, which I mean it is rejam range, I'd probably let it go too. I'm gonna tighten up and just jam everything, right? Like what we should be doing.
16?
Well,
I jam a lot of shit.
Limpers and opens. Against limpers and opens.
Yeah, I mean.
Sorry, guys. Hang on.
From 16, you 4x a limper. That's a 30-year stack.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, 3xing or 4xing is wrong. That's a mistake. Like, we should be jamming it. I misspoke.
See, like I got away here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players guaranteed showdown. So I just fold here.
We're at 600, 1200. We got to be getting close to the final table.
It might be. But 11.6, I just give it up.
Do you see why we folded there, Squirrel?
Not exactly. I would have folded as well, but not. I kind of missed what you guys were talking about as far as why.
So we're back at that point that we were talking about like last week, where our stacks really start to affect our range, and we're closing in on the bigger money. So our ranges are going to fluctuate significantly at this point in the game, based off of our stack in comparison to everyone else's stack around us. And it really kind of started right about that 5-5 hand is when we realized that our stacks are becoming very ICMized, so to speak. So like even though like an earlier tournament, this might have been like a flat, it is no longer a flat because all of the other hands behind us, they're going to be jamming with hands that they're going to be playing for their entire stacks. If we are to call here, we're less likely to get a call from anybody else in this hand. They're going to play for their stacks, and we don't want to be playing for stacks with a king jack, right?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, we would rather just fold and let someone else bust so we can move up the money and wait for a spot where we can get it in.
Right.
That's kind of that's the whole general aspect of the whole thing.
Right. So all of us, including Matty Ice here, we all have to be way at the top of our ranges in order to call.
Right.
Way the hell up there.
Well, but here's the thing, though. Matty Ice doesn't necessarily have to be, nor does Dorbin Robin Hood have to be, because they're like closer to closing the action, so they can actually be significantly wider than what we can be, being first to act after the open. As it gets closer to closing the action, the wider the jam can be.
I'm wondering what my calling range is there if I'm Matty Ice.
I don't think there is, or if you're Matty Ice, a flatting range? I don't think there is a flatting range. Well, I think your flatting range is probably pretty standard. Probably 20%. Probably between ace queen down to probably all your queens, all your ace jacks and lower. You're jamming all pairs. You're probably even flatting suited. You're probably flatting unsuited connectors, and maybe even one gappers. Any paint.
Okay, a little monkey business going on here. Is he calls the 1-6,
and then he folds.
Yeah, he just folds.
That's bullshit. Like, what does Door and Hood have? Like a 7 deuce? Like, even I think that you're calling 100% of your hand with that, or 100% of the playing range.
Yeah, I agree. That's an any 2 card call.
Yeah, you call with any 2 cards.
That's a little wide for Matty there, though, I'd say.
I agree with that, too. Though I've been knocked out with Jack 4 offsuit before.
I don't know about that.
That's kind of the way the cookie crumbles at this point in the game.
Right.
If you give them the chance to do it, they'll do it. That's why having a push-fold range is so important, because you don't give them the chance to suck out on you like that. Like the worst case scenario in most games, I don't want to say that it doesn't happen ever. I mean, the worst case scenario, if you're using proper push-fold range, that it'll be a 60-40 in most cases, unless like it's aces over kings or something like that. Like in most cases, you'll always at least have 40% equity in the hand if you use a push-fold range.
Yeah, 2 and 5 times. If we win 2 and 5 times at our worst, we're doing all right, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, what do we think? I think I fold.
With a jack 3, he's calling pretty much anything you jam, right? Because you're already so wide and it's half your stack. Yeah, I think I'd walk him too. Especially if we're not at the final table yet. Like, even at the final table, I think I'd probably still fold that. Oh, what?
I bet this is the final.
Is this the final table?
I
Because
bet it is.
if this is a final table, I can definitely see folding the 7s there. But if it's not the final table, what the hell are you doing?
Wish I knew what hand I was on of the 152.
Oh, you're still towards the bottom of your...
A lot of folds between here and there, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I bet
the
this
final
is.
2 tables?
That's possible.
Was this the this wasn't the one that I actually had up on stream, was it? The one that we were trying to final table together?
No, this is a turbo.
Oh.
That's the
There was one like earlier this week where we were both in it and we were coming up to the final table, and I think I like final table bubbled it, and we couldn't have a team toe final table on a merge.
That was a 750 guaranteed 330.
Yeah.
I think this tournament runs later in the day.
Yeah. How do you fold that if this isn't final table?
Not sure what my logic was there.
Fuck this, I haven't made enough money yet.
Maybe it's got to be.
Like, that's the only
Must
thing
have
I
to
can
be the
think
final
of.
table.
Huh?
Nope.
No.
Oh, that was the money bubble, and I bet this starts the final table.
Oh.
I bet it's what's going on.
So you folded it on the money bubble.
Because a lot of the times, top 9 will get paid in these things.
Yeah. Okay. I can see it. You're on the bubble. You results-oriented fuck.
Dude, I'm racing at best. How often can that guy have 5-5 and call off with it?
Right? I know. I get it. I'm fucking with you. I do it all the time. I think that's where me and Killingbird would actually get along a lot, because Killingbird's all about. He's like, dude, if you got to fold it to get to the money, just fold it to get to the money. If you're that close, like if it's that close, always side on the side of caution. Unlike Toe is like, fuck that. Who wants to fucking min cash? We're here to win. Like, fuck some min cashes. You know what I mean? I'm all about like getting money when I can get it. This is just the banker in me.
Well,
there's also the point that Toe has, like, what did he say? Something like 35,000 big blinds, or some crazy number like that. Like, he has a huge bankroll, is what I'm getting at, compared to.
to like a.
Oh yeah, he was talking about that last week. Yeah, how min catches mean nothing because he has a massive bankroll, but Killingbird has a massive bankroll too. But Killingbird actually sides with the side of caution in spots like that too.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, KB really hasn't made all his money playing, though. He's done.
Yeah, because he runs, because he pretty much owns Tournament Edge.
TPE, yeah.
Yeah.
And he owns a brewery, and he used to do a bunch of shit for some record label, and so yeah, a lot of his money's not actually earned on the tables.
It's true.
Fold here. Fold. Oh, player gonna get knocked out? Nope. Yeah. This guy got knocked out, I guess. We start with their 8 and 5-6. So that's a lot.
Go back. Did Big Stack jam or did he just open?
Big blind. Or is this the wrong hand?
The Kings.
Is this it? Yep. Okay. Open jammed.
Oh, he opened Jake.
8.0.
Okay, cool. I just was curious if he actually just opened it, like to like two bigs with like eight bigs. He was one of those guys.
This is an ICM fold.
The Jack 4,
No,
the Ace 9.
the
The Ace 9 is definitely an ICM fold for sure. He kind of set probably 8th place money on fire because the guy sitting next to him had only 3.2 big blinds left.
What day did I say this was from?
I don't remember.
I can figure that out by looking here. 24th. I'm going to go into Discord. Shit, what day was the 24th? 24th was last
Sunday.
Sunday. This is last Saturday. Maybe I didn't post this up.
There it is. No, Wisco right there. Is that it? No, that's the third. Oh, that was the satellite for the 33.
It doesn't look as if I posted this up.
Yeah, because it was only a 500. You were like, oh, this is just regular shit. Like, I should be cashing this like 90% of the time.
That's a late night 11. Yeah, I didn't post this up. So I was wondering if I could take a look at the pace.
Oh, and see if we're at the final table yet?
Well, I was wondering what the pay jump is.
Oh.
Because that's a pretty freaking horrible call off, I think.
Yeah, because do you see why? Do you see why, Twirl? Look at the stacks. And we're talking about big wave Dave calling with ace 9 offsuit.
Right.
Assuming this is the final table and every place that goes up is a pay jump.
Okay. If we're at the final table, I completely see that.
Okay, but why? Why?
Because you're putting too much at risk on a.
Well, we only have 5.6 big blinds, so are we really putting too much at risk?
What are we putting at risk? I think is the question.
You should be, to me anyway. If I'm gonna be going all in with ace 9, I want to be the first to act.
Okay, of course, but I think it's less likely about that and more about the fact that Don't Stop Believing, the guy that's in the small blind, he only has 3.2 big blinds compared to if we are big wave Dave, 5.6. Every pay jump is more money, right? So if we were to call this with ace 9 off and lose as big wave Dave, we just practically set the money on fire that between the place that we went out and the place above it. Whatever that difference is, that's how much money we just set on fire. And the reason is because Don't Stop Believing Dave, or Don't Stop Believing, only has 3.2 big blinds, and we want him to go out before us because his stack is lower.
Yeah, and that's what you just explained is the way I would normally play that too.
Yep, that's ICM. That's ICM to the max right there. Like, that's how ICM affects our range. Like, if we were, let's say that we were Cadillac O'Kid 2, right? And we were first to act. No, hang on a minute. Let's see here. Let's say we are Cadillac O'Kid 2 with the 19.3, and Big Stack John jams with 3.2 big blinds. Ace 9 offsuit is a call all day long there because we're way ahead.
Agreed.
We're not risking our whole stack, and we have a chance to make a pay jump, right?
Right.
But because we're not that big of a stack at 5.6, we're against an early position raise, and there's someone with a lower stack below us, it's a fold all day. Hell, I probably would have folded ace queen offsuit there, more than likely, in that spot. I would have probably folded as deep as ace queen offsuit just because the open came from an early position.
That makes sense. I wouldn't have thought of that before you mentioned it, but that makes sense too. I see that.
Yeah. That's how ICM can be just crazy confusing, how that works out. All right, on we go.
So also looking at this, if you're big wave Dave, Don't Stop Believing does have better position. He's a long ways away from posting the big blind again. But at these other stacks, Matty Ice can definitely knock himself out from here. I can knock myself out from here pretty easily, and both of us have to go through the big blinds before he does.
Right.
So that's another kind of aspect. I don't know how ICM exactly plays it into consideration as far as with the calculations, but that's an aspect that you can look at is, okay, Matty Ice has to be in the big blind in two hands. OldWisco has to be in the big blind before me. Those guys can easily knock themselves out with whatever.
Yeah, that's really the easy way to look at it, for sure. That's how I used to look at it before I got on Team Toe, and it worked pretty well.
See here, this exact spot. I got the guy. I'm facing the blinds next. The guy behind me has 4-4 bigs. I do jam this. I don't know if it's a good jam or not.
Yeah, that is definitely like crazy close. You want me to pull it up an ICMizer?
Yeah. Do you have a runner?
I got a runner.
Okay. Do you need chips?
Yes, I do need chips.
Okay.
I can't post hand history because it's on your screen, so I'll put it in manually, which will take a minute.
I'm gonna run upstairs real quick, and I'll be right back.
Okay. How many players we got? We got 2, 4, 6. We are at. So Annie would be 300, 3, 6, 9, 12.
3,000. Sorry, you said ante. I was thinking big blind.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what the antes are. I'm going to assume that that's right. We got under the gun with 17, and that's hero. 17, 9, 2, 2. 13, 3, 4, 9. 33, 9, 4, 6. 40, 104. Yeah, that's right. Small blind. 17, 5, 2, 4. And 53, 5, 8. Deuce. And then we have ace 6 off. Wow, that can't be right.
What's it saying?
It's saying any 2. That can't be right.
Any 2?
It's saying any 2, but maybe I don't have the ranges right.
Yeah, that's the thing about ICMizers. You have to range them.
Edit range for player in the hijack. Is it just going to be the calling range?
I would think so.
God. I think that's legit because we got them covered. So yeah, I would say that that's right. The big. Them to call, they're going to be even tighter.
Huh.
They're not calling. They're only jamming. Yeah. To call, cut off call, they're going to be a little bit wider. Say any pair.
His ICMIs work a lot better with calls than shoves.
Late position shoves and calls. Yeah, because we're early position, like I had to put in all these ranges. He's gonna call pretty wide too. Button.
Matty? I don't know. It's half a stack. Matty's in it to win it. Probably does win it.
Yeah. And small blind, even stacks. Probably not so much. They're gonna be pretty. They're gonna be pretty tight for even stacks, I think.
Where'd you say you live now, Twirl?
I live in Connecticut.
Connecticut?
Yeah, I grew up here, but I lived in Wisconsin from 97 to about 99.
99?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oregon, you said?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just outside of Madison.
Yeah, I've been to Oregon.
I got a friend that runs a farm. I don't even know where the farm is. I think it might be in Madison because he moved since I was there. He runs an organic farm down there.
Yeah, I'm pretty familiar with the organic movement.
Just gonna save it.
I had a problem coming back here though. In 2000, when I moved back here in '99, I couldn't eat any vegetables. They sucked.
Oh, you couldn't?
Not here, in Connecticut compared to what the vegetables were like in Wisconsin. The difference in the taste and the freshness and everything was so drastic. I just couldn't stomach most of the vegetables.
I mean, you couldn't eat them when you were in Connecticut?
Correct.
Dude, it's so wide. Here, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Look at this.
Can you take it, or do I have to do something?
I can just hit share screen. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Let me pull it back over. Look at that.
Wow.
Oh, that's our jamming range?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
It says it is.
Is that for the big blind or is that under the gun?
That's from the hijack from where we're at. I mean, I might have done it wrong. Like, yeah. So P, yeah, that'd be push, right? Yeah, push.
Wow.
So it's a great jam.
It's Great jam. It's an unbelievable jam. I don't know if I did it right. Like, it's so like almost too good to be true jam. Here, I'll switch it back.
Well, so when we post our big blind, we're dropping from 17 to 14, right?
Yeah. Is your screen back up? Your screen should be back up.
I don't know if you guys see it or not.
Yeah, I see it.
I actually hit calculate twice, so I actually used 2 that time.
Oh. You'll get them back tomorrow. Take a walk.
I installed Isomizer last week, so if you need me to run something, I can run it on my account.
Okay.
Here, to me, this is an easy jam. It's a spot that you really want to put pressure on when you're me.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's an easy jam right there.
These guys doing nothing. Yeah, when all the money's at risk, everyone's on a short stack. Whoa, is that not the FT?
What? I agree with that. Oh, that wasn't final table, was it?
Apparently not. We got quite a few left here. There's a lot of short stack play in this tournament.
How much more you got left?
A lot of folds. It's like one
We'll just keep going.
more good hand.
Hopefully we'll keep going. We'll get there. Hopefully we'll finish it out.
So we fold here.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, because you had another caller. So, yeah, you couldn't call that. I thought it was queen 10. Huh.
So we were trying to earn a rank there.
Yeah.
It's a fold. 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 Nope, I jammed.
Jam. Yeah, I would have jammed that too, probably. You're the low stack, right? So you're going to be closest to pure push fold range.
Right. But that still doesn't mean I can rejam in like spots like this with ace deuce. I don't have enough fold equity for that. But he takes it down with the min here. Interesting.
You know, something about that, though, and I like that came up, because I'd like to talk about that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is definitely, I need to check the stats, and, like, but there's no, like, how often do they use push fold, right? So, like, it's like, has this guy actually been jamming proper push fold range and then out of nowhere just fucking open raises with 10 bigs? Or has he been consistently just open raising with under 15 bigs? So a player that has been just like using push fold range correctly, open raises, this is scary as shit, right?
Yeah.
But someone that hasn't, this is weak as fuck too. And I'd be jamming all day on him.
Right.
Like, that definitely it's how you exploit players late, I think. I think that kind of moves away from GTO into more exploitive. But for sure, I mean, it really just depends if they know how to use push fold range or not.
No, he's really trying to.
How tight in general they are.
Like I have ace deuce off.
Right, I know. And then I guess you still have to worry about someone coming up behind you. I guess that would be more like if you're on the button and the cutoff opens, right?
And this is the kind of hand that you hate to open jam.
Yeah. No,
Much
I
less
agree.
three bet.
I agree, but
I don't think Maddie's the one that he's trying to make the move on.
Let's say we had ace 10 suited.
Yep,
right?
jam all day, lose all my chips, right?
But would it be against a player who knows how to use push fold range and then just randomly fucking opens for 2 min races with 10 bigs?
I probably would have jammed the spot, but I would think that would be wrong.
Right. I would probably be like scared as shit that guy like is trying to bait somebody. Because it's not like they have a killer stack right now. You know what I mean? If they had a killer stack, they would apply the pressure, right, with a big hand because they want to get the low stacks to call wide. But like with a small stack, you just min open with like say queens plus.
Yeah.
You're going to get the big stacks to come along. Big stacks aren't coming along if you jam unless they have you beat. From that position, at least.
Like thinking back to that ace 6 hand and how wide that was. Think about how wide we can jam if you're this guy right here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, he can jam so wide because he's got a little bit of a larger stack. Like,
oh, there's a limper in there. Your hero Limptide or Riptide.
this is my fucking hero. I love that guy. I'm like his biggest fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might try to find him on Twitter and be like, dude, so I was doing an interview and you about made me cream my pants on one hand. I'm not gonna tell you which one it was because I don't want you to do it to me, but dude, I about fucking creamed all over myself.
So I call off all my chips. The lowest stack, I have pocket 9s.
I'm calling off my stack. I'm just like, GG, good game.
Peace out, guys. Oh, never mind. I doubled up.
You're on the better side of a flip. That's the way I'm thinking of it too. I'm like, I'm on the better side of a flip.
1, 2, 3, 4. This is a jam, right?
We got
put pressure where we want it.
I don't know if it is now because you just doubled up and you got people under you now. I think it is actually.
I'm putting so much pressure on this short stack here.
And you're putting so much pressure on Riptide too at 18. He doesn't want to be left with 8 bigs.
I think it's a jam.
Like the only person you really have to worry about is big stack John, because he's probably the only one that's going to call you relatively wide. And Matty Ice are probably the only 2 that you really have to worry about.
Yeah, but big stack John has a lot of incentive to fold because Matty Ice is in the big blind at the moment and has to face a small blind.
Right, and that's kind of why I said fold to begin with. Like, that's why I was like, I don't know, we just doubled up. Like,
oh, I do fold.
Yeah, it's a good fold. I think that's a good fold, personally. Would have got beat.
And we said goodbye, Big John.
Yes, that moves you up another rank or level, whatever.
Big John's in the mine.
Assuming we're actually at the final table this time.
Right.
But we're at 3,000, 6,000. Based off of my experience with Carbon, like, we gotta be, especially at this small tournament, like, because this is about what we're at when we start to, like, get to the final 2 tables in the big weeklies.
Right. Oh, he shoved for 10. Yeah, fold all day.
There you go. There it is. Oh.
There I go again. 7-7. Giving up.
Give up the 7-7? Oh, I don't know. Oh, no, you're up against a raise. Yeah,
that's the second time this tournament.
Yeah, that's a good fold. That's actually a good fold if this is the final table, though, I think, right there. That's the difference between it being like a min cash and a final table. Like, you can get away there, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, that's interesting because that's one of those things where I would have jammed on that, and I've been struggling with whether or not I should or not.
The 7-7 call off.
Well, you've got like, oh, was that a call? Was that
Yeah, because you're facing a early position open there with a 7-7, and you're probably already at the final table.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I was thinking in terms of being the first to act.
Oh yeah. Well, no. First to act, that's a jam all day.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem.
First to act, that's a jam all day.
Okay.
Well, based off of the stack sizes in ICM, that's a jam all day.
Okay.
Because everyone's relatively even besides one guy, and then you have a low stack to counterbalance that. Like, yeah, it's a jam all day.
There's probably a shit ton of aces I can jam here.
I don't know if ace-6 offsuit being one of them.
We do end up folding.
I think that's a good fold. Whoa, hold on. That was an open. Go back. That was an open with 10. Yeah. 9-7 off. You could probably make the call and just see it. I don't know if I don't want to commit my stack, but if they're willing just to open into me from the button in that spot, this deep, like, I'm literally looking for a way to see a flop.
Yeah, I mean, if we flop the 2 pair, we're in second place.
Like, even if we flop top pair with the 9, we're good.
So if we call, that makes a pot 5.1. We have 8.6 in our stack.
Right. That's why I don't like my 5 kicker though. We don't have any real draws. That's why I think it like maybe a 9-7. At least it's a 2-gapper.
9-7
right?
big enough there.
Yeah, and we don't. And like I wouldn't do 9-6 because I don't want to hit the wheel draw because that's 3 connecting cards, right? So a 9-7, I think I would actually make this call.
Yeah. Riptide.
Riptide's back? I thought Riptide got busted.
No, that was Big John.
Oh. Jesus, come on.
Big John's at the bottom of the mine. Dunzo. I gotta play that song again when you stream again.
What's that?
Big John.
Oh.
Wow, how good do I do? So what happened here? Okay, these guys.
Yeah, this has to be the final table.
Opened for 12.
Fold.
Called. Yeah. Do you really get off that?
No, not on the button. You don't.
No, I mean right here. It's
With the 9 deuce.
It's the 6s.
Oh yeah, easily. Yeah, 9 deuce. Yeah, you can let that go.
You fold 6s there?
You got 6s?
No, this dude has 6s.
No, you don't get rid of 6s.
Okay.
It's a call all day. Right? Unless you want to nitpick your 7.1 bigs for the difference between a third and a fourth, but I wouldn't. Not going 4 deep, I wouldn't. Maybe if you had like 5 bigs compared to his 10, maybe I could justify it. But
I'd really have to take a long, hard look at the ladders to actually fold it, but
yeah.
There, no. Double.
Sorry.
Doubles.
Wow.
What was it? I didn't see it. I was messing with
Aces with 3-5 off.
Doubles with 8-3. Against aces?
Oh, no brainer. It's because Riptide's the man, dude. Todd knows how to play some poker, man. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but he just lost with his aces. He's terrible.
That was the poker gods like saying you can't be playing that tricky at these limits. Like quit like exploiting people. Quit exploiting these like newbies in poker and play something more of your game.
There, now he got him. So I call off here.
Yeah. And you probably lose.
You got no choice there.
Yeah. And you probably you got the Dominator staying alive.
Nice.
I do fold there. I think it's one of those spots where you just got to give Charlemagne. I think that's his name.
Million. Or
What?
Emilio.
That dude.
Leo?
Leo.
Yeah.
You just got to give Leo the chance to bust. So I think that's a fold.
Yeah.
That might. Oof.
I think we can. Yeah. We're going to get a call.
I know I'd be getting called, but I'd probably jam with that.
Oh, you would have got there too. Oh, you were probably beating yourself up over that shit. You'd have fucking got there too.
I don't know. It's tough. Do you let him play out there, or do you?
I mean, are you going to get better? Are you going to get something with better equity, knowing that you're probably going to go multi-way? Like,
Right.
I think that was a jam. Like, even without seeing it, I'm like, yeah, that's a jam because you're probably going to go multi-way, and you probably have the best equity going multi-way.
Yeah. Like I'm doing better there than I am here.
Yeah, you were doing better there than you were doing right there.
And I have less big blinds.
And I think in multi-way, I believe that your 6-4 probably has more equity than your queen 7 off.
Yeah, probably. I don't know why I'm not in that pot. It's kind of confusing me late.
Well, probably because you realized that you lost with the 6-4, and then it came to the realization because I'm sure you're smart enough to realize like shit. I actually held a lot of equity post flop there.
Right.
And then when the queen 7, you're like, I'm holding no equity post flop in a multi-way pot with a queen 7, so I fold.
Right.
I missed my spot. I should have took it. And then once you finally got a king, you were like, well, I got less than half a big blind left with a king. This is probably
Yeah. So I kind of drug it out, just hoping this guy would screw up, and it didn't happen, I guess.
Right. So final thoughts. Amazing. Like Riptide's my new favorite poker player on Carbon, and if I ever run into him, I'm gonna let him know.
And Riptide does go on to win the tournament, I guess.
Yeah.
Presumably.
Right. It's because the poker gods also cream their pants with the play on the kings.
Right.
Yeah. I didn't really see anything wrong, honestly. I mean, you made probably about as many mistakes as I possibly would, but maybe not necessarily in the same spots. So I don't really see anything to criticize. Overall, pretty good. What about you, Twirl? What do you think from what you saw?
I thought he played really great. I mean, it's a shame he came in third versus second or first, but still, that was interesting.
Did you got any questions?
Not right now. I got a lot to mull over and absorb.
Yeah, read up on ICM. Start like I think that if you get ICM, I think that you will start like winning more tournaments than min cashing once you start to really truly understand ICM.
Yeah, what was it, last week, I think I bubbled almost every game I was in as far as the tournaments go, or the MCTs. And then this week I started getting past the bubble, but I got to the final table a couple times. But
Yeah.
I'm still playing around with it. What's interesting is I've been playing a little bit more aggressively, but like picking my spots because of what you guys have been teaching me. And I've been shocked at what people have been calling me with. I mean, like I'm winning with ace high sometimes when I'm really big blind. I'm like, fuck it, if he's got it, he's got it. And it turns out they're calling me with air.
And I talked about this on stream one day. Poker Pastor posted something in his Discord that once we get to a point that we understand the game at a higher level, but yet we don't move up stakes because moving up stakes takes a while, right? So we're still playing at the same level, but we have a better understanding than the players that we're playing against. Our variance skyrockets. So we're going to lose a lot more compared to winning a lot more, right? Well, while winning a lot more. So, like,
I remember this. Right. I remember this conversation.
Yeah. So, like, we're going to be winning a lot more tournaments than we were before, but we are also going to be busting to suckouts a lot more than what we were earlier, too.
Right.
And what doesn't happen are minimal cashes and bubbles. So, like, we sacrifice, I guess the easy way to say it is, we sacrifice min caches for taking nasty beats early tournament. And if we're going to take nasty beats early tournament, that's a good thing. Like, I would rather take a nasty beat early tournament and not spend 3-4 hours to min cache than to just bubble it. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead. If you're going to suck out on me, do it in the first, like, in the first 5-6 levels. Go ahead, take me for my stack, crack my aces, call my 4-bet with your Jack 3 offsuit and hit a set. Like, that's fine. Because now I don't have to waste my time at this table all day and only get, like, marginal money.
Well, you just factored in a value for your time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I get over that hump of just like, God, I've sat here all day. And I'm not going to say it doesn't happen, because it will. It still will happen. And I think it was Monday when I needed 2 day savers. Wisco was in there. I needed 2 day savers because that's basically what happened. I was just getting sucked out on early tournament, and I just needed 2 day savers. And it got to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm starting to run bad now towards the end of this tournament. I'm going to end up bubbling this thing and sitting here all day, and I'm going to be really pissed. Like, even more pissed than I was just busting early. You know what I mean?
Sure. Because
I sat there all day and then bubbled it over a suck out that I probably could have taken earlier in the tournament and got me out earlier, right?
Right.
So, I mean, that's the way I look at it and the way that I deal with variance, and it makes it easier for me to understand. Easier for me to deal with it.
That's like that $5 10K.
Was it the $5 10K?
No, I'm just talking about it. The $5 10K that runs on ACR on Sundays.
Oh, yeah.
I don't reg that very often just because you sit there forever. Then you get to like the final 2 tables and you make like $12 or something, you know?
Right. It's either win or nothing. Like, it's true. Or like, yeah, the $5 10K, if you final 2 table, you'll probably get like $30 on $5 and you'll sit there all day.
Right.
But yet, if you win it, you're going to get like $3,000. It's like ICM nightmare when you get that deep.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know, it's crazy.
Real gray hair just thinking of the ICM implications at that point.
I was in I had won a ticket to the Sunday Millie back in 2016 on ACR.
Yeah.
Like their December thing, whatever they were doing in December, I guess. And what I was shocked at was there was like 3 or 4 players on my table that were going all in every fucking hand. And one of them got knocked out and just rebought immediately. The other one got knocked out. He rebought immediately. And these were like $500 tickets.
Right. And that's something about playing, because I play a lot of live poker too. Like, I'm actually a much better live player than I am an online player. And that's something that I have that was a real culture shock to me, was that people that are rich aren't always rich. It's the people that have a crazy amount of disposable income. Those are the people that are rich. For instance,
Right.
someone that makes like $250,000 a year, only owns like a $50,000 house, probably doesn't have cable, and everything is ran off of electric, and they have all like energy efficient shit, is going to be significantly more rich than someone that makes $1 million a year, $2 million a year, has a private jet, like 3 properties. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And the people that are just bombing away at $500 tickets are the people that are like, this is the only thing I do for fun, and I don't give a shit if I bomb away $500 tickets because I have the disposable income to do it. And it's really hard to comprehend that kind of rich, right? That's crazy rich. But those are the people that you never hear about because they're so private that they don't want the spotlight. You know, the people that have the jets, those are the people that crave the attention, right?
Yeah.
So you have those people sitting behind a computer with that kind of money just doing that, like we would with $5, right? There's people in the world that like that, and it's hard to even comprehend that there's people like that, but there are. So that's
Like,
kind of the way I look at it.
Have you done any MSPT events, Johnny?
Mm-hmm.
Players,
Say it again.
have you done any like MSPTs, those 1100s?
No, I stick to HPT, HPT and WSOPCs, and then WSOP in the summer, obviously. Like, I might have to take 2 trips out there this year because I'm playing in the Big 50 and then coming back for the Colossus and another one.
Yeah.
So, like, in the Colossus and the other one that I want to play in is at the end of the season, and then the Big 50s at the beginning of the season. So, like, I guess I'm really kind of hoping to bank the Grizzly TOC on tomorrow or next week. So, or on Sunday, so I can just be like, yeah, so pick whatever tournament in the WSOP you want to send me to out of these 3 and pay for my airfare and my hotel. You right? Because then I get one of my trips paid for.
But yeah, I've seen the same thing in those 1100s.
Yeah.
You'll get a player like the Satellites In or whatever that got there for $65, and you'll put them next to a player that has 4 or 5 buy-ins in their pocket. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really kind of strange to me how different those 2 players are.
It's a huge culture shock.
Stake.
And
What's
and the other thing about live that I learned this during last year's WSOP. Well, I'm going to go ahead and finish the recording, but we'll continue to talk. But yeah, that concludes the study group for today. And if you got any questions, just hit me up. Let me know. Thanks, guys.